I just want you to take a wide-legged stance on your mat. So that, and it doesn't matter whether you're facing to the left or facing to your right, you're just taking a wide stance. And it's the beginning of class, so we're not doing the uber wide, like dial it in. Just feel the, just taking a broad stance. Maybe a little movement of the hips from side to side. Just kind of coming into the space. But just relaxing your arms by your side. You're going to pick up all 10 toes. Just sort of guiding yourself back into center and starting to wake up through the core. As we are in the midst of our journey into spring, I sort of embrace this place of the warmth of awakening. As I walked outside after class this morning, and really just took a moment to see the little buds that are sort of popping up over my yard. At the close of day of coming back into my house, started to really sink in that the turn of the season is here. It's definitely brought some sunshine and lightness to my day. And I hope it brought a little lightness to your day as well. I want you to extend both your hands up to sky. Palms will face each other. And just interlace your fingers and rotate your palms up towards sky. And your hands might be slightly in front of you, maybe not directly overhead. You're just sort of waking things up. And then you'll lower your hands down directly in front of your chest, like you're pressing the front of the room away, rounding through the shoulders and the upper back. And then uninterlace your fingers and bring your hands to your hips. You're going to take a gentle bend in your knees. So not a huge bend, but just a gentle bend. So you're not locking your knees out. And then start to take a gentle fold. Think about shifting your hips towards the back of your room, lengthening the crown of head to the front of your room. And just inviting yourself into this release through the back side of your body. You'll lower your hands down to your mat. And then keeping your fingers and toes pointed in the same direction. Just going to walk both your hands over towards your right foot. And then walk your hands over towards your left foot. And just try to feel that like little shift into your hips. Maybe a little opening into the inside of your leg. Walk your hands over to your right foot. And we're just going side to side. So it doesn't matter if you went left and not to the right. Just walking your hands side to side, a little movement of the hips. And then the next time you walk your hands over to the right, you're going to drop your hips towards your heel. And you might get here, you might be up a little bit higher. But a generous bend in the knee. And just sort of deepening into this release to the inside of your quad. And just breathing into that space. You're going to lift up your hips, walk your hands back into center. We're going to come into this wide-legged downward dog. So you're going to walk your hands off of your mat onto the floor, really pressing through the palms of your hands, finding that length through your torso. like you're reaching your tailbone up towards sky. And then you'll walk your hands back underneath your shoulders and walk your hands over towards your left foot, dropping your hip towards your heel, keeping fingers and toes pointed forward. Just getting some release into the inside of your right leg. Just seeing what the space is offering up. You're then going to lift up your hips, walk your hands back into center. Coming into that wide-legged downward dog, walking your hands forward. Really feeling the release of the crown of your head, your neck. Breathing into the space. And then you'll walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. And then you're going to walk your hands to the front of your mat, spinning your toes to point to the front of your mat. And then just step to the front of your mat. Bring your hands to your shins and lengthen out through the backside. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach your hands up to sky. And exhale, bring your hands into heart center. And then just lower your arms down by your side. On your inhale, you're going to extend your right hand up to sky. Then you're going to take a side bend over to the left, pressing through your right foot. You come back into center. Lower your right arm down. Extend your left hand up to sky. And then just taking a side bend over to the right. See if you can reach those fingers just a little bit further over. Finding some length, maybe finding some lift up out of your hips. Lower back. Guide that arm back down by your side. You're going to step your feet hip width distance apart. Inhale, both hands up. On your exhale, lower your hands behind your back. You're going to interlace your fingers and hug the shoulder blades together. You're then going to bring your hands into the small of your back. And then you're going to bring your hands to come into your right hip. And you're going to hug your right elbow back. And just see what that offers up into your shoulder. And then release that elbow back to neutral. Bring your hands into your left hip and hug your left elbow back. And keeping that shoulder plugged down. So sometimes it's kind of creeping up. Plug it down. And then release the left elbow back into neutral. Bring your hands back to that center of your back. Hug both your elbows back. Gentle rotation in the shoulders. Release through the chest. You'll then release your elbows back into neutral. Uninterlace your fingers and just let your arms down, fall down by your side. You're going to roll your shoulders into your ears and release them down the backside. We're going to do this 2 more times. Shoulders into your ears. Releasing it down your backside. Roll it up. Release it back. You're going to inhale and send both your hands up to sky. On your exhale, you're going to lower your hands behind your back. Take your right hand to your left wrist. Hug the shoulder blades together. Breath in. Gentle bend in your knees. And forward fold, extending your hands up to sky. Lower your hands down to your mat. And just roll up into standing. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, lower your hands behind your back. Left hand to your right wrist, hugging in through your shoulder blades. Breath in, gentle bend in your knees. Exhale, fold. Lower your hands down to your mat. Press into the soles of your feet to rise up into standing. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, lower your hands behind your back. This time you'll interlace your fingers in the non-habitual direction. Inhale, lift you up in heart. Exhale, fold. You're going to lower your hands down to your mat. Roll up into standing. And then step your feet together. Find that connection through your core. Hugging navel into spine. Getting shoulders over hips, which brings a natural lift of your heart, lift of your chin. Gaze is straight forward. You're going to bring your right hand to your heart. Just channel into the movement of your breath. And just start to see if you can find some length in your inhale. And match that with your exhale. And then you'll lower your right hand back down by your side. You're going to inhale both arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, fold. You're going to plant your hands on your mat and step back into your downward facing dog. 2 feet are hip width distance behind you. Release your heels towards your mat even if they never get there. You're going to step your feet to the center of your mat. Come up on your toes. Glide forward into your plank. Rest under shoulders, heels up to sky. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your feet hip width distance apart. Breath in. Breath out. You're then going to lower your knees to your mat and come into a child's pose. So I'm just shifted out of my child's pose, so I'm not talking to my mat. But stay with your intentional breath. You're then going to walk both your hands over to the right side of your mat. And you're just going to keep walking that left hand over to find some opening through your left side. So your left hand might creep a little bit further than the right. And finding some opening in through the torso, a release in the hip. Maybe hug that left hip back. Breathe into that space. And then you're going to walk your hands back into center. And then just see if you can walk your hands just a little bit further forward, finding some length through the left and right side of your body. Then you're going to carry that length over to the right. You're going to keep walking that right hand over, letting some openness through the right side of your body, focusing some breath into that space. And then you're going to walk your hands back into center. And you're going to guide yourself into your tabletops. We are going to be here for a moment, so if you want to double your mat over to get a little cushion underneath your knees, or locate a blanket to place underneath your knees as some extra cushion. But you're just going to step your right foot to the front of your mat. You're going to walk your hands up your shin to come up into your low lunge. Reach your hands to the sky. You're going to lower your hands behind your head. Hug the shoulder blades together. Gaze remains straight forward. And sort of release the weight of your head into the palm of your hand. And then you're going to bring your hands to your right quad, leaning into your right knee, and just sort of opening up through your left quad into your hip flexor, keeping gaze forward. You'll then lower your hands to your mat. Walk your hands back to your hips, lengthening out through your right leg. You're going to bring your left hand to the right side of your foot. So maybe it's to your right pinky toe, maybe it's to the right side of your quad. We're just sort of offering up a different release through the left side of your body. And then release your left hand back to your mat. Walk your hands back to frame your right foot. You're going to take a gentle twist, ground your left hand to the left side of your mat. Extend your right hand up to sky. And keep your right knee hugged into center. Sometimes it wants to bow out to the side. Keep it hugged into center. And then you'll lower your right hand back to your mat. Bring your right knee back under your right hip. You're going to roll yourself into a cat. Guide yourself into a cow. Coming back into your neutral table. And then you're just going to step your left foot to the front of your mat. Come up into your low lunge, reaching hands to sky, hugging legs in together. Keeping that core engaged, protection for your lower back. Bring your hands behind your head. Resting the weight of your head into your hands. Finding a little release through your neck. Use your thumb as a little gentle neck massage for you after a long day. And then you'll bring your hands to your left quad, leaning into your left knee. And if you feel like your heel is popping up, just nudge your left foot forward. So you're grounded through the full sole of your left foot. And stay connected to your intentional breath. Smooth breath in, guided breath out. You'll then lower your hands to your mat. Walk your hands back to come into this half split, lengthening out through your left leg. You'll bring your right hand to the outside of your left leg. Maybe it's the ankle, maybe it's your calf, maybe it's your pinky toe, but just kind of inviting a release through the right side. You'll then bring your right hand back to your mat. Walk your hands back to frame your left foot. You're going to ground your right hand on the right side of your mat and extend your left hand up to sky. Maybe gaze is up towards sky or straight forward or down towards earth. Just a different expression. Find the one that works for you. And then you'll lower your left hand back to your mat. And then you're going to curl your right toes under, lifting up your right knee. Step your right foot to the front of your mat. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach your hands up to sky. Exhale, bring your hands into heart center. Then you're going to step your feet together. Start to haul your legs into center. We're going to come into a rolling malasana squat with your knees together. So you're going to start to shift your tailbone down towards mat. Start to feel your hips lifted. You're going to come all the way down. Then you're going to guide yourself back up into standing. And then lower down. Smooth, controlled movement, keeping hugged into center. Come back up into standing. Exhale, guide you down. Then you're going to lower your hands to your mat. Lift your hips to sky. Toe heel your feet to hip width distance apart. Coming into a ragdoll, hands to opposite elbows. Releasing the crown of your head towards your mat. Keeping a bend in your knees. This is another one where I don't hang out with you just because you can't really hear me as I'm talking to my legs. But you can either stay in stillness or sway your ragdoll side to side. And if you started to sway, you're just going to come back into stillness. Lower your hands to your mat. Bring your hands to your shins, lengthen through the backside. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach your hands to sky. Exhale, bring your hands into heart center. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach your hands to sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, extend your hands to sky. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach your hands up to sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to do 2 more rounds of these half sun A's. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach your hands up to sky. Exhale, hands into heart center. Inhale, reach to sky. Exhale, release into the folds. Inhale, lengthen through the backside. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach your hands to sky. Exhale, bring your hands into heart center. Toe heel your feet in together. Come into your Tadasana, into your mountain, hugging into the center. Intentional breath in, guided breath out. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, fold. Ground your hands on your mat. Step back into your downward facing dog. You're going to step your feet together at the back of your mat. Come up on your toes, and then just lower your heels over to the right, shifting your gaze towards the left. And then you'll bring your heels back up to center. You can lower your heels over to the left, shifting your gaze towards the right. And then bring your heels back up to center. Lower your knees to your mat and come into a child's pose. Find your breath. Intentional breath. You're going to guide yourself back into your tabletop. Curl toes under. Downward facing dog. You're just going to take a bend in your knees and just walk to the front of your mat. On your inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach your hands to sky. Exhale your hands into heart center. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, fold. Ground your hands on your mat. Step your left foot to back of mat. Rotate your left heel down. You're lining up for your warrior two. So you're going to get grounded into your feet. And then rise up into your warrior, gazing over your right fingers to the front of your room. You're going to release your warrior, lengthening out through your right leg, extending both hands up to sky. Right toes are going to point towards the left side of your mat. Left toes are going to point to the back of your mat. Warrior two. Release your warrior. Left toes point to the left side. Right toes to front of mat. Warrior two. Release your warrior. Right toes to the left. Left toes to back of mat. Warrior two. Release your warrior. Left toes to the left. Right toes to the front of your mat. Warrior two. Release your warrior. Right toes to the left. Left toes to the back. Warrior two. Release your warrior. Left toes point to the left side of your mat. Your hands come to your hips. Inhale, find the length of your torso. Exhale, release into the fold. Hands come down to your mat. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, release into the fold. Bring your right hand to your right ankle. Your left hand to your left ankle. And you're just hugging in through the center. Starting to feel where your body is sort of opening up and releasing into. Keeping a gentle bend in your knees, so not locking your knees out. You'll then bring your hands back to your mat. Walk your hands to the front of your mat, bringing toes to the front of your mat. Step your left foot to the front of your mat. Inhale, length. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach your hands up to sky. Exhale, bring your hands into heart center. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, fold. Ground your hands on your mat. Step back into your plank with knees lifted or lowered. Lower all the way to your abdomen. Your inhale is going to lift you into a baby cobra. Exhale, lower. Lift up into your tabletop. Downward facing dog. Guided breath in. Guided breath out. Take a bend in your knees. Walk your hands to the back of your mat. Inhale, length. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach your hands to sky. Exhale your hands into heart center. Take a mindful walk to the front of your mat. We're going to do one more sun salutation. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, find the length through your body. Exhale, fold. Ground hands on your mat. Step back into your plank. Knees lifted or lowered. Guide yourself all the way to your abdomen. Your inhale carries you up into a baby cobra. Exhale, lower. Lift up into your tabletop. Downward facing dog. And take 2 more breaths here. Grounding into your hands. Feeling the strength of your body. Pulling your focus inward. You then lower your knees to your mat. Rotate your legs forward to lower down onto your back, hugging your knees into your chest. You're then going to lower your feet to your mat. Bring the soles of your feet to touch, opening up in the knees, extending your arms out to a T. You're going to press the soles of your feet together. And then release back into neutral. Take a deep breath in. Heavy breath out. Deep breath in. Heavy breath out. And just start to feel the movements that you've made sort of awaken the warmth within. Just feel the release into your shoulders, through your upper back, mid back, the hips, through your legs, to your toes. So you're going to use your hands to guide your knees back into center and hug your knees into your chest. You're going to drop your knees over to the left, sending your arms out to a T. Maybe resting your left hand on top of your right knee, sort of deepening into this final release of just wringing things out. And then you're going to bring your knees back into center. And lower your knees over to the right. Maybe resting your right hand on top of your left knee. Maybe shifting gaze towards the left. Just using this moment to bring out the day. Anything else you might be holding on to that needs to be released. So then lower your right hand back to your mat. Bring your knees up into center. Lower the soles of your feet to your mat. Then come back into a Supta Baddha Konasana. So bring the soles of your feet to touch, releasing open through your knees. Bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your abdomen. Take a deep breath in. Then a rise of your heart and your abdomen. Exhale, release it out. Deep breath in. Guided breath out. And then use your hands to bring your knees back into center. Extending your feet to the end of your mat. Releasing your arms to rest by your side. Making sure your fingers and toes are touching anything that is not invited to this space. As you drift into this space of stillness, start to feel the weight of you sort of release towards earth. Letting go of all that you no longer need in this space. Something that I am reminded of in the spring is the seeds that are planted, that are nurtured to grow. And what I've learned is that there is this somewhat careful planting of the seeds, nestling it into the warmth of the earth, the strength of the earth, the nourishment of the earth, and providing that place for the nourishment to happen, for things starting to blossom into life. What are the seeds that you have planted? What have you nurtured into your life? So I've been walking through my yard and doing the spring cleaning. I had this mindful space of removing the debris to allow things to arise. Because nature reminds us that it is important for us to plant the seeds to blossom. But you also have to give the space for something to rise up. What are the things that you need to clear to let new blossoms arise? As we sit into this final space and rest, starting to peel away the pieces that might be preventing growth to happen. Let's nurture this space. and be in the space. And feel the nourishment of your Shavasana. And start to reawaken. Bring some gentle movement back into your fingers and toes. Maybe nodding your head side to side. And then when you are ready, bring the soles of your feet to your mat. You're then going to roll over to your favorite side. And guide yourself up into seated. Just resting your hands to wherever speaks to you. This is your spring. The warmth is coming in. And while things are starting to blossom, there might be a little bit more yard work to do. So as you shifted into your space of rest and sort of had the space to reflect on the things that you're nurturing to blossom into your life, are there things that are standing in its way? And saw the beautiful tulip that was popping up out of my yard. I had to nestle through some leaves and some broken twigs to get there. It's found its way. But clearing off the past would make that journey just a little bit easier. So what are you looking to blossom, take root and take hold and come into life? And while that idea might have not resonated with you here in this space this evening, it will bubble up just when it needs to. And when it does, I encourage you to take note of it and truly just write it down and keep it in your vision so you can keep the path clear for its journey. You're going to bring your right hand to your heart and your left over your right. The warmth of spring is here. Enjoy the blossom of your journey. I bow chin to chest in gratitude of being in with you in practice tonight. And the blossoming of your spring, I bow to you. Namaste.